Bask in my light, I give you, my children, because you shall receive. Okay. Hi, my name is Joey D. I am someone who just makes stuff, and I came back with the milk. I suggest you watch the previous video, but if you don't, I'm basically making an ASIM outside of Roblox. That's gonna basically be, a Deltarune Undertale ASIM. And today we're going to talk about a very cool topic that I should actually touch upon. What are the characters and, the general premise of the thing? Because I never touched about that on the first video and it has been bugging me. So let's kind of start. So the characters. For the killers, I think I mentioned, we have the vessel. The vessel will be very much customizable, where you can pick an ability you can get, but you have two base ones, that you cannot exactly get rid of. But you can also customize two slots, right? And the moves would be generally something like, I don't know, suddenly go out of your body, become a soul and just kind of deal AoE damage, or just do a very big projectile type of thing. It's meant to be like a little bit a variety. And second of all, what would be the overkiller as well? The Roaring Knight. Killers will have different objectives. For example, most of the default objective is kill everyone, but killers like the Roaring Knight will have a special objective. When you have a round with the Roaring Knight, there are like beams of light that are around the map, right? And you cannot kill survivors, but you can down them. And when you down a survivor, they're basically weaker but can get, recovered by others. And your job is basically bringing survivors into those beacons of light, right? And basically relating to the whole kidnapping thing they do, right? But you will not be able to kill anyone. It's only when they're out of the game where they get into the beacon of light, right? The Roaring Knight would have like also probably two slots of abilities that you can customize, but that's mostly all. For example, one of their abilities would be just going into that funny bird form they do and just grabbing anyone they get, right? Or maybe a swoon that would instantly down you regardless of HP. However, it would not kill you. That's the most important thing. You cannot kill, you have to down first and then bring them into the beacons of light. Another killer would be drowned, snowgrave, noelle, something like that. Just imagine a really tall noelle, right? That seems like very darkened and also has like little skeletalish wings, red wings. That will be basically, made after that thorn ring impact, I think you know what I'm talking about. And her entire gimmick would be that when you spawn in, you leave a soul behind. And generally you can have an ability that makes you close your eyes and go and look at the soul. And you have to protect the soul, because if it gets destroyed, you lose. You have to protect it. Two different things. You have to kill everyone and you have to protect your soul. If you don't protect your soul, then, it's an easy win for the survivors. If you do both of these very well, then also very good for you. And that's basically like the ideas I have for the killers right now. Now let's talk about the survivors. The survivors are an interesting case, because mostly they are revolving around them being goners. So you don't have exactly Kris here, but you have a monochrome version of them that resembles them. Of course, I don't think I will be adding exactly Kris. I will probably make it a mix between Frisk and, Kris maybe. The survivors I have planned right now are Noelle, you know, the normal Noelle as a governor, ralsei, and I think Birdly. Yeah, that sounds weird, but trust me on this, it would be cool. And basically you have, you know, the usual ASIM stuff. You can stun the killer, defend your team, heal, you know, stuff like that. Basically your everyday ASIM. But I do think of giving ralsei not only a healer role, but also like a really oppressive role. So that you can either, you know, be Mr. Nice Guy, or, you know, be an actual threat to the killer. And generally, what would be the objective that you have? The secondary objective aside from the survival? I'll be so honest, I don't know. If I figure it out, I will mention it in a dialogue soon, but I right now don't have any idea. I don't think generators would fit the theme. I don't think any puzzle-like would fit the theme. I would have to think about it. Generally the maps would be something like true lab hallways, like really empty, to give you the kind of weird sense of an experiment. And also, I have not mentioned, you know, what's going to be the actual story of this ASIM. Basically, we are the soul, right? We are being currently helping Gaster, you know, winging Gaster in Deltarune, with an experiment to just see what we do. That's why the name is Essence Experiment. It's an experiment of our essence, basically, to see what happens, and he's just curious. And generally there's not much, but let's talk about the system, because I haven't also touched up on that yet. Before you get into a round or into a server, you get assigned a trait. Kindness, integrity, justice, you know, the soul traits, right? They don't do anything really, aside from being to indicate who you are. So basically in the chat they will be able to know who's saying what by just looking at the text color and also at the soul that's on your character. And well, that's mostly all. I have not decided, for example, more things of how this hitbox system would work, but what I did think about are skins. That's right. Of course, every ASIM needs some cosmetics to spend your precious money on, except this doesn't actually involve any currency. Now you can get it just through playing. For example, I have made a cosmetic where our vessel can wear a kimono, where they just are basically spammed, or where they're vengeful. And I gotta actually touch up on this vengeful one. You know how the players usually have like this violent fantasy of us getting our vessel back and beating the Fangang's ass? Yeah, this is basically it. That's basically the embodiment of that fantasy of what these players have. And aside from that, that's mostly it. I also made like an Undying Night cosmetic, but aside from that, everything is a concept and I may abandon it at any time. Now, random video, go!